Welcome, everybody, to the first edition of the Sunday Moisture Mash Moistcast. Get moist and get voiced. It is I, your host, from the comment section of World Class Bullshitters to moistening the airwaves. It is I, the Moist. And joining me tonight on the inaugural Sunday Moisture Mash Moistcast is the superfan Adam Shawhan.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me, Brandon, Master Moist.
And it's always a pleasure to have you on here. I see Riot Kitty's in the chat already, so thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we'll moisten your Sunday evening as we talk about television today. We're going to mix it up. Instead of talking movies and stuff, we'll stick more to TV and talk some classic shows, some of our favorite shows, shows we watch now, shows we watched growing up, shows that we wish never would have ended, and all the fun stuff in between. So now last night, if you guys tuned into World Class Bullshitters, you were in store. You were in store for a hell of an episode. Myself, Adam, and the Rookie Critic joined Jeff and Kendo on the Soilo live stream. So we watched that movie, the 2.5 hours or something like that is how long it is. We were honestly having such a good time, just all talking, reading the chats and all that stuff. I completely forgot the movie was on half the time, and that kind of goes to show my opinions of Solo. That it's not like I don't think it by any means is a terrible movie, but it's just like one of those things. Like if it's on in the background, yeah, it's like a background movie to me. I mean, Adam, what do you think about that?
I cannot even argue one point of this at all with you because I completely agree. It is, to me, a 4.5 as a sci-fi movie. As a Disney movie, it's a negative 9,000.
Yes, and yes. So yeah, I can definitely see your argument there. And Hallmark Channel, Jeremy. Yes, football is still on right now. We got the Saints. I think they just punted, or they're facing a fourth down, 3 minutes and 8 seconds left in the fourth quarter, to 20-14. New Orleans over Philadelphia right now. And earlier, the New England Patriots absolutely dismantled Phillip Rivers and the Chargers. And I learned that Antonio Gates is still in the league somehow. Did not realize that. So for you NFL fans out there, you guys will get that reference. But yeah, so no, last night we had a hell of a time on World Class Bullshitter stream. And first off, before we really dig into our discussion about TV shows and series that we really enjoy, we're going to exclude Game of Thrones first off, because that's kind of has its own thing. But I want to thank everybody that's listening now or in the future for subscribing to this channel. About a month ago, I had, I think, eight subscribers. And as of today, I'm at 70. So we have jumped up quite a bit here. And I have a bit of an announcement. I'll make an actual video announcing it later on this week. But a little preview announcement. We will be going live on Twitch. One of my buddies, Tad the Tech Man, on this channel, has been known as Tadams. He is going to be really leading the charge with our Twitch streaming. And I know he already has a couple thousand followers, so we're going to be able to bring them into the Moist community and really build this thing up. Raindrop, moisture, puddle by puddle, I guess. Got to think of a tagline for that. But no, seriously, thank you guys so much. I am extremely grateful, and I'm glad that you guys are all here for this journey that we are on. And, 2019 is going to be a great year to be building this channel, because there's so much happening, and that's going to be happening between the Last Jedi, episode 9, all the Marvel. Oh my, they just missed a field goal. Between the Captain Marvel and Infinity or Endgame, Avengers Endgame. I am still exhausted from last night's stream, if you cannot tell. But so let's talk TV. So it is Sunday, and Sunday evenings is usually a pretty big TV night. And because you can always just count on tuning in, around 8 o'clock, and you're going to see, I think on Fox or whichever show it is, you will always see The Simpsons, Bob's Burgers, Family Guy, American Dad. Some of these that are, people either love them or hate them, but they've been around for how many years? And Simpsons, I think, it's like 25 years.
Oh, it's been going forever.
Yeah. Now
started on the Tracy Ullman show, my friend.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So now, Superfan, what are some of your favorite TV shows of that kind of genre, like the little half hour, maybe half hour, like the cartoon shows that it might be more for an adult audience, not necessarily the kids?
I can honestly say I miss the old school Dragon Ball Z would be on. We had Toonami, and that was always really fun. Saturday night / early Sunday morning. Cowboy Bebop would be on, along with Samurai Jack was always a good one that was, a little bit earlier that you could watch with the kids and be entertained. But American Dad is fun. Family Guy is fun. Simpsons used to be fun. I just kind of stopped watching them a long time ago just because I was working and working weekends. So, sometimes you just lose too many seasons and it's just too much to catch up on. So just kind of say, yeah, I'll catch it if I catch it, and never did. But yeah, I've always never understood this generation of wait till everything's done and watch it until you got a DVR and you can just sit down for 10 hours and watch an entire season and go, I don't have to go week to week. Bite me. That's one thing that is very nice about the technology of today. But then the drawback negativity is when you have people that just sit on their ass for 24 hours and watch TV and don't get up and move, end up in a movie WALL-E. But yeah, I mean, that's really never been a big one on TV. Always kind of been outside and doing things, would have NASCAR on in the background or the NFL, sports ball, as Mecca Random calls it. Whether it be, I always like college more than the NFL, just because, that's the up and coming NFL, but they're not getting paid. So they really play and care. That's just my opinion. But yeah,
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really, old, since I am quite a bit older, like when X-Files first came out, that was on Sundays. That was cool, season 1 up through however far they got. I really can't think of too many things. I think In Living Color was on a Sunday at first when it first debuted with, of course, now well-known Mr. Jim Carrey and the whole cast of the Wayans brothers. And, you go back that far, which granted, this is way before your time because we're talking back in the 90s. But it was, that was when stuff just started kind of popping out. For us, Sundays used to be, back when I was, back your age or just even a hair younger, you stayed up Friday night, you stayed up Saturday night, and then you made sure your homework and shit was done so you could just crash Sunday to get up Monday for school.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I did throughout school and throughout my entire educational career and background. Now, you brought up a good point earlier that you said about with pretty much streaming services and how you can literally sit down and watch an entire season in a day. Do you think that, and there is benefits to having the streaming services and things like that available, where you just get a massive episode dump where you'll have entire shows releasing Netflix an entire season, a new season in one dump. House of Cards is a recent example of that, where you could literally just skip every episode and then go right to watch the beginning and watch the end and see what happens. Do you think that these streaming service, do you think that is detrimental to the storytelling element, or and that it doesn't, does it still build up the hype that you had whenever you had to wait? The episode ended on a cliffhanger on a Sunday night, and you're like, son of a bitch, I gotta wait till next Sunday night, 7 whole days, to find out what happened to this character or next plot in this story, next plot point in the story. So what do you think do you think those streaming services take that kind of build up away? Or do you think that, with them being able to, drop everything, everybody watches it within 10 hours or whatever, and boom, they can just start talking the whole season right away? Do you think there's a good balance between that? And do you think that the build up is kind of, losing its steam, I guess?
I feel that we've got positives and negatives. Back in the day, the worst thing ever was having to wait 2 damn weeks for oh my God, it's the end of the world. But then again, I come from that era where you had to go month to month to read a comic book. So you'd go, you knew on the 3rd or the 5th or, whatever day your local comic book store, brick and mortar, by the way, people, yes, they did exist. You would go there, you knew when your runs were going to be printed and when that store would have them, you'd go, you'd get your book, you'd read it. Then you got, 29, 30, 31 days to wait to continue that same storyline. Now, granted, we bought multiple different books so that way that'd get you through the month. But yeah, so when it came to anticipation, like in my situation, not a big deal. I think with the streaming service, to answer your question, it eliminates it on the aspect that you don't have the week to week or 2 weeks, but then you've got 9 months till they release the next season. So you have to wait even longer. I do agree with it on the aspect that screw cable. I feel that it's great so you can catch up. So if you break your leg as you're doing a reenactment, you've got nothing to do but lay around. Well, you can catch up on everything. But then once you're through with everything, what do? Well, shit, you definitely don't go to Disney because their streaming service isn't worth it. But you could always, if you don't have Hulu, get Hulu. And then if you've got Netflix and don't have Hulu, you just flippity floppity because everybody's got something different. Or you do like the insane crazy man here with the Wiener Dog Clan super fan, and you just watch YouTube. And that is my TV because there is an unlimited amount of good entertainment on YouTube, even though YouTube does kind of suck from time to time with letting people know that, your shows are going live or notifying you that they are on or even popping up on the home screen. But you can find cheaper entertainment because no matter what, you got to have the internet to use these streaming services. And if you don't have the internet, you are in the dark ages, my friend.
Yeah, and that is true. I know a lot of my friends right now, they don't even get TV. They just have the internet and they just stream everything, which I think is the popular move now. And you'll see cable television be taking a hit, as well as with what I think we're seeing that already with the rise in these streaming services. And that, there's obviously a market for it. That's why Disney is creating their streaming service. And you have, Hulu, Netflix, all those really, if you invested in them early, you are getting a hell of a return on investment with how much these things have been blowing up. And a quick football update for you football fans out there. New Orleans recently just intercepted a pass from Nick Foles, and they have basically just clinched the game with a first down, 53 seconds, and the clock is running. So it looks like New Orleans gets out of this 20-14 over the Eagles, and they're going to be hosting the LA Rams next week. And if you took the Eagles at +8, congratulations, they covered. But if you took the Saints, no, they did not cover. So, but if you had money line Saints, congratulations on your win. So that was Talking Bats with Brandon. We're very diverse here on the Moist Cast. We can just quickly pull a tangent out of nowhere. All right. And Bonnie, yes, I just followed you back on Twitter there, so should be good. And thanks for joining us, Bonnie. And later on this evening, Bonnie will be having a live stream, I believe. So make sure everybody you tune into that as well. So yeah, no, I guess what my take on the whole streaming services and streaming platforms are that I do think it's awesome. And it's kind of like it's kind of like we said, it's like a balancing act. Yes, it does take away that, having to wait a whole month, you said for a comic book, or like you have to wait a whole week for a new episode of a show, which I do like that. Like when I was a huge, really, 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 really into The Walking Dead, and I'd have everybody that lived in my apartment, we'd all be there. We'd invite our friends over. And Sunday night, it was like an event that we were going to watch The Walking Dead together. And it was awesome. Just having that experience that every Sunday night we knew, boom, 9 o'clock, get into my apartment, get down to the living room, and everyone shut the hell up as soon as those credits start rolling in the beginning. So that was always fun. having that experience. And that's something that you might not get with the streaming services unless it's like, hey, let's all binge this thing at once. So I think, in that sense, it does take away from the experience a little bit. But I do think that having the streaming services available where you can literally watch an entire season in a day, and then you can immediately start talking about it with people that have also binged it. I think that's great too. It's just kind of a different way. It's like a different way of consuming it. But I still think that it creates the discussion and the build up and the anticipation for maybe the next season. It comes out a year from now. So I guess there is your trade-off, that if you're going to have every episode of a season dropped at once, you might have to wait a year to get that, or and so on. So I think that it's just, in closing with this discussion, I do think that streaming platforms are great, and I think it's a good I think it's a good tool that we have and good technology to use. And I don't think that it will take away from entertainment in the future. But I do think that it will start to decrease those anticipation moments, if I had to say, where it'll be more of just, boom, you can get everything all at once. And if you want to be lazy about it and you skip episodes, feel free. But if not, you can consume it just like everybody else does. And Thug Life Jeremy, hey, welcome to the chat. Riot, Kitty, and Hallmark, thank you guys for being here as well. So what's this? Hallmark Channel Jeremy says the thing is, all these streaming services, it's gonna get expensive. So yeah, it's consolidated. Yeah, because you think about it right now, you got like $15. Let's just say the average is about around 15. Say you have 3 or 4 streaming services, hell, that essentially is a cable bill. So
it's with your internet, especially. So you gotta add that internet bill in there.
Yeah, and and I think too, streaming services, it's something that they you kind of just add on, and you don't really think about it. And you just have it set up every monthly that it just comes right out of your account. And you don't realize it until you start to see how much money you're really pumping into these things, and you're like, oh shit, damn, if I wouldn't have had so many streaming services, maybe I could have had a little extra money to go on a vacation or something like that. So that's kind of the things that you got to watch with streaming services. But the good thing is about a streaming service is the choice that you have. So you can literally say, okay, I'd prefer to have Hulu rather than Netflix, and here's why. With a cable, Comcast, whatever you're signed up with, you don't really get that choice. You get whatever, it's like, okay, you pay $90 or you pay $150. And the difference might be, oh, I want the NFL network, but I don't get the NFL network on the $90 one, but shit, I got to pay $150 just to get that. So that's why I do like the streaming services, that they give you a lot more of choice to choose what you're going to pay for. So we'll go off of this topic here a little bit. And just a heads up, guys, this is going to be a shorter stream, probably 30, 40 minutes. Before
you go off, I got something for you real quick. So here's something that you wouldn't have remembered. One of the most awesomest TV shows ever created was called Rescue Me, with Dennis Leary, about 9/11 and the towers coming down. That happened in 2004. In 2007 to 2008, there was the writer's strike. That is the one thing that the streaming services do have in their favor is, you get the seasons and all that. You don't have to deal with the writer's strike bullshit. My wife and I got her hooked on Rescue Me, and then she was pissed because she had to wait about 1.5 years before she got to see where the storyline continued due to the writer's strike.
Well, yeah, that would be harsh. We us Game of Thrones fans, we're kind of going through that right now, and that wasn't even for a strike. That was just for production.
Yeah.
So I know that the wait for Game of Thrones has been absolutely just ugh. And another reason why I definitely want to go live at some point here this evening, there is rumor that at some point this evening or this week, we are going to be getting our first Game of Thrones trailer and the official release date of season 9 or 8. So once
that happens, with you, tell you 2022.
Yeah, I want to see anything. We saw about 3 seconds of Game of Thrones earlier with HBO's Golden Globes entertainment or Golden Globe Award entertainment video, and we saw Sansa handing Winterfell over to Daenerys and Jon, so that was cool. But the fact that the fact that a fan base went absolutely insane over 3 seconds of film just goes to show what that television series is and what it means to people. So speaking of television series that mean a lot to you, let's talk about some of like growing up as a kid. What were some of your favorite cartoons or TV shows that you could always count on to put you in a good mood or just give you a good laugh? And before we get into that, Riot Kitty, yes, doesn't want to pay for all these services, and yeah, there's not enough justify. Yeah, and I agree that there's not enough to justify buying Disney or a DC service. And yeah, Hallmark so far, the only thing you're looking for on the Disney stream is The Mandalorian. Yes. I'm not going to get the Disney streaming service, but if I'll be interested to see. I'll have to try to make a friend or whatever that has the Disney thing and let me watch it, kind of like bumming off of a Netflix thing from someone.
That's the nice thing about streaming, though. Exactly, right there, what you just said. I used to do that with Xfinity back before they changed everything up. I had an account, so my daughter was in college, like you, since you guys were real close in age. So I created an account so she could watch stuff from her Mac. And then, you could stream everything from your tablets. The one thing that irritated me with all this technology is the damn TVs didn't have the same kind of apps. I mean, they do now with the smart TVs, but back then they didn't. So you could do it from your tablet, you could do it from your phone, you could do it from your computer, but you couldn't do it from your damn TV. Or you wouldn't have the capability on some of the game systems. Like one game system would do a certain one and another game system would do another. None of them did Xfinity though. Or Comcast at the time, which used to be Heritage Cablevision. The more you know, the more you grow. But that is the one thing I can get HBO Next, give you my information. You can use it. I can give you my Vudu information and you can watch all the movies I already own. Vice versa, and everybody can just have a blast. The sharing is kind of nice. They don't want you to share, so please, everybody, listen deeply. Share.
Yeah, and sharing is caring, and sharing will make you it'll make you feel like a better person. I think I still have a couple of my friends' logins from like my freshman and sophomore year of college, which was like 5 years ago. So, and they all still work. So, and the funny thing is, it's like whatever one of them doesn't work, you just text whoever it was, and it's like, "Hey, did you pay the bill or whatever?" It's like, "Oh shit, I forgot about
that." Hey, I was watching something.
Yeah, can you pay the bill so I can keep watching this? But so streaming, it has a lot of pros and cons, but I do believe that the pros, they really are beginning to outweigh the cons more. But as what Thug Life Jeremy had said, it's all about what do you want to pay for, and is a content provider or platform going to put enough quality content that's going to make you want to pay that monthly fee of whatever it's going to be. And Sith Kryptonian, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, no, sharing AIDS is not so caring. No, we're talking about sharing passwords for Netflix accounts and such. That is the kind of caring we're looking for. Sharing AIDS, on the other hand, that's pretty detrimental, and I would say, you just kind of been an asshole at that point, especially if you know you have it. So with that, let's try to give ourselves a little happier note. So let's talk about some of our favorite TV shows growing up, like as we were growing up. And you guys in the chat, let me know what some of your favorite TV shows are growing up, or even now that you're watching. We're going to stay away from Game of Thrones talk. We're going to keep them saved for Black Angus Reviews and I's bi-weekly Game of Thrones live streams and season reviews. By the way, our next episode, episode 2, we'll be focusing on season 2 of Game of Thrones, and that will be next Sunday on Black Angus Reviews channel, probably around 12, I would say, in the afternoon. So some of the shows that growing up that I always would watch, and I would get furious if I missed an episode, I would say growing up, Rugrats. Rugrats is an absolute classic for me. And the one that I will still watch to this day, if it's on, I'm just flipping channels. and I see it, or I've watched it on Amazon Prime, and that is SpongeBob SquarePants. Unfortunately, Steven Hillenburg passed. The creator of SpongeBob passed this year, but I think his legacy will forever live in that pineapple under the sea. So those are two ones that I would always watch, and I always would watch the cartoon Batman series. I can't remember for the love of me what the actual name. It might have been just called Batman, but I cannot remember.
The animated series from the 90s?
Yeah, those.
Yes, sir. Batman, the animated series. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I would always watch those. I forget I think they were on like Thursday nights or something like that. But I just remember, because I know my dad would always sometimes be trying to watch Thursday night football, and this was back whenever I really wasn't, into football like I am now. And I'd be like, Dad, I need to watch Batman. And he's like, I gotta watch the game. I'm like, Dad, we gotta watch Batman. But so we got some responses here in the chat. Homework says, Miami Vice, Knight Rider, and A-Team. Yep. Dragon Ball Z. Let's see what else. Make sure we got everything here. Young Justice. I don't know if I'm familiar with Young Justice. I'll have to check that out. So that's some of my favorite ones. X-Men cartoon. Old Spider-Man. So
hey, we had the old school Spider-Man and the Super Friends with Iceman, and that's what we grew up on, along with I remember when He-Man debuted. We had Transformers, G.I. Joe. Of course, the classics would be Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny, all those good, and that's the one thing about being older than you. I do got to say, yes, Sith, Dragon Ball, motherfucking Z, you bet your ass, buddy. Got a wall of that here, my friend. That was one of the greatest things was Toonami, as I'd mentioned earlier. You'd have the midnight showings, and that was one of the you'd wait week to week, sometimes 2 weeks to be pissed. And then New Year's, they do the whole season. I remember staying up and recording that shit on VHS tapes, man. No She-Ra, Hallmark, Jeremy. No, bad Hallmark. But we had He-Man and She-Ra. Just there was so much. Knight Rider, the A-Team, Airwolf. Then we had the Blue Thunder movie on top of, the $1 Million Man, $1 Million Woman. We had so much shit. We watched the Bigsby with the Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno, pre-CGI, and it was fucking phenomenal, I have to say. All stuff that younger kids would be like, what is this shit? Be like, yeah, well, this was the bomb back in our day. That's just what it was, though. I mean, that's what we had. The eras. That's where I love having these conversations with people of today that don't quite get the concept of what the era was in the 60s, in the 70s, how different things were. You didn't have the internet. You couldn't just pull something up and watch it. If you were waiting to watch something that played once a year and you missed it, you couldn't rewind. You were screwed. You had to wait till next year to see it, WWF wrestling was the shit back in the day. You'd have a Saturday show, but yeah, if you were lucky enough and you could get it, because when they first started out, I was lucky enough. I lived close enough to Chicago that we would get Chicago stations. So we'd get to see WWF. But, for the love of God, you used to be able to get a pay-per-view for, $9. Cable used to be $10 a month. Nowadays, for air channels, they want me to pay fucking $30. I'm not giving you $30 for something that used to be free. You didn't even have to have an antenna back in my era. You could put a damn paper clip in the back of the fucking thing, and guess what? You got TV.
Oh, and some areas that still
channels. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So if you guys if anybody in the chat here wants to try it sometime, if you just take a paper clip and like bend it the right way and stick it in where your where your auxiliary cable would go into your TV, and you just kind of play around with the direction of the paper clip where it's pointing, you can usually get at least 5 free channels. And we did this at one of my buddy's houses. We actually got HD channels. So, and it was like CBS, Fox, ABC. So like your mainstream channels. So that was pretty cool.
Hey man, we used to have ABC, CBS, Fox. Then you would get, oh Christ, I had it. PBS, and then there was another one that WNIT. Those were the 5 channels that we used to get. That was it, man. That was it.
Yeah, and yeah, I know. Growing up, yeah, just we just had a very basic cable package where I grew up, and yeah, and I really didn't get into the streaming service and everything. I was a late bloomer with technology, and I know when I got my first iPhone, I was going nuts, and that was like only like 3 years ago. And all my friends at school are just like, "Oh, you want to show us your iPhone again?" So I'm still, even though I am a younger guy, mid 20s, still figuring out a little late to the party, still trying to figure out some of the new technologies and stuff. And but yeah, no, and just when I see these cable packages and stuff that you can get now, and just how expensive they are, and for what you're getting, and when you look at these things, it's like, okay, how many of these channels am I actually really going to watch? I probably watch 4 or 5 channels right now: History, Animal Planet, and then ABC, CBS, Fox. So whichever sports are on that channel, and ESPN. So it's like, okay, I really don't need everything else, but that's where I think the streaming services are awesome. Where it's like if there was just a sports stream service, I'd totally just do that. Which ESPN pretty much has that now. But yeah, so no, we had some of the other shows dropped in the chat here. And Caitlin, keeper of the Jeremy's, welcome to the chat. And Proper's Jeremy's appendix has escaped once again, and he's in the chat section, which is awesome. And All Out of Bubblegum, welcome aboard here.
Hello, All Out of Bubblegum. We know you from World Class Bullshitters. We've seen you in the chat. We've all talked together numerous times. Welcome. So nice to see you.
Yes, definitely. And okay, right. Kitty says Star Wars: The Clone Wars 2011. Yes, that was also a good one. And I always, I'll still rewatch that on Netflix too when I don't have anything else to watch. But yeah, so one thing, what you had brought up Tom and Jerry, some of those Popeye, the Sailor Man.
Oh man, yeah, Flintstones.
Yeah, and the thing
Jetsons, is, yes, sir.
They have survived all of the chaos that we've seen, going the purging of pop culture, as well, I'll call it. Of censoring everything, or saying, oh well, this meant this, and they're racist or bigoted, things like that. Yeah, in the shows there are some very questionable things that you can look at that may not have aged well, but I think just as a whole, those shows are a prime example of what entertainment can be when you don't try to force a narrative upon people. I mean, literally, like when you watch Tom and Jerry, I don't want to be told, oh, this is how I should vote, or this is how I should think. I just want to watch, Tom and Jerry like try to chase each other around. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, man, you get a cat getting his ass whooped by a mouse or a dog, or you get to laugh, and all kinds of
thing with Bugs Bunny.
Mannequins,
yeah,
gotta have the shenanigans.
And the same with Bugs Bunny and Space Jam, one of my favorite movies involving Bugs Bunny. Space Jam and Michael Jordan. I'm very excited for that. But and even like SpongeBob, I think SpongeBob is a great example that we can use. That is such a it's just such a a turn off your mind and just kind of let your mind go to mush and watch it. But it does that, and you're like, oh, this was really funny, and this was really good. This is really funny. I laughed like crazy. And at the end of the episode or whatever, you might be like, oh, well, that was a good lesson about friendship, or like, oh, think about it. Oh, that just said sharing is caring, or things like that. So, but the thing is, they don't force it on you. They're just like, oh, hey, like, be a good friend, and it's just how the characters are portrayed and how they act, which is just awesome that they do that. They don't force it upon anybody. Where now it's like, now it feels like if you're in Hollywood and you're producing a show, if you don't have a political message behind it, then they're going to look at you like, oh, well, why? What's the point of making this then? It's like, well, I just wanted to tell a story, whatever. But yeah, and yeah, Adam, the SpongeBob Sailor Mouth episode, by one of the best episodes.
Own it, brother. I own it. I bought a disc that had it on it because it had it on it. I'm sorry. It's the best SpongeBob. I could watch that on repeat constantly.
Yeah.
Just leave that shit on a 24-hour stream. You know what? For shits and giggles, I'd get a copyright. I don't give a fuck. I just might have to do that one time.
Yeah.
Go live and just let it play. You might not be able to see it. You might be able to hear it. I don't know. Allegedly, disclaimer, disclaimer. I just may. You just never know. What? World-class bullshitter, super fan, madman with the Wiener Dog clan that calls Doomcock Pop Pop. Also jumps on Oden's movie blog, invades the Moist every time he has a show. Hangs out with the DJD, hangs out with Bonnie, has a blast every chance he gets to be on any stream. Loves all the shows, Rookie Critic, Black Angus reviews. There's so many to mention. One day we'll be on a show with Sith Kryptonian because that sumbitch is a whole lot of fun, let me tell you. Boys and girls, you will have a blast with us and everybody here in the chat. Please sub to each other. Check out each other's channels because I got to tell you, we are all family one way or another. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. I'll say it forever. We put the fun in dysfunctional.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was very, very well said. You know, it's
see, I told you going unscripted is fun, isn't it?
yeah, no, that's exactly no, unscripted is the way I go. Like when I do my videos, which will be cranking them out more, probably try to do at least 2 a week. And my buddies, but no, my buddy who is also going to be contributing some content to the channel, he does his very, very scripted, and you'll see, and he'll do 3 or 4 takes sometimes. So you'll see the contrast between myself and his. His videos are more gaming and tech related though, so I feel like he's trying to make sure that he gets all his facts straight whenever he is talking about like reviewing a specific laptop or a mic or something like that. He wants to make sure. So that's definitely understandable and definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just kind of like, I have a few notes and I'm just like, okay, let's get from point A to point Z, and how we get there is just, you know, let's just get on this roller coaster and see where it goes. So that's kind of my take on how I stream. But yeah, so we were talking about a little bit about some of the SpongeBob episodes, and I want to say my favorite episode probably is going to be, well, I got 2 of them. Ripped Pants, which is the 2nd episode ever. Yes. Ripped Pants is one of my favorite ones because I was like, when that came out in 1999, I was 7 years old. So having a character just ripping his pants all the time was hilarious. Again, I was a 7-year-old kid, like losing my mind.
I was your age then, so
yeah, I was just like, I'm like, this is exactly, you know, this is what I want. I just want to see a character just rip his pants and stuff like that. Yep, you know, but I ripped my pants. But
hey, that one. The sad thing was though, hold on, I gotta stop you.
Yeah,
we did not find out whether or not his boxers were on.
No.
Backwards or frontward, you know, if they were on right or backwards, we did not know. But damn, him ripping his pants, I got to give it to you. Yes, that is another funny one.
That is, yes. That was a little bit of an inside joke there as well. You guys can tune into, I think it was the final FriYAY Moist cast is where I had that story about the boxers being backwards. Yeah, it's a very interesting story.
Although everybody that's in here was there, so I'm pretty sure yeah. All out of bubble gum. Yeah, if you're enjoying some of this, there hasn't been that many episodes yet. So catching up with Mr. Moist here, as I call him, Master Moist, because he does have his master's degree. He is a very intelligent young man. We have a blast, and we have DJD with us on quite a few of the streams, Proper Jeremy as well, and I bring in a whole bunch of other special guests just to surprise Master Moist, because we have to keep him moist, and the only way to make sure he stays extremely moist is to surprise him. And just the tears of joy of moisture that I know ran down his cheek when he's been invaded by many of the higher channels that we know, or mid-range channels, or whatever you want to call them, such as Lethal Lightning, Oden's movie blog, when you can sneak a couple guys in there that he doesn't know is going to come in, and you hear him go, holy shit. Yeah.
Hey, look,
as a super fan, that made my night.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, well, I look at the Hangouts, and I'm like, wait, who's that? Someone else is in here. And then we see, and then I'm like, okay, I got to do it, because I usually do like a kind of a WWE style introduction for everybody. And I'm just like, oh shit, well, I need to like stop and do this right now, or like work this into the next segment. Mrs. Puff, yeah, the Mrs. Puff ones are always good. No, I think my another one of my favorite SpongeBob episodes. It's gotta be. I mean, there's so many to choose from. The night shift is good when they do the night shift at the Krusty Krab. I love that.
Yes.
There's that.
I like the one where he's trying to get his driver's license too. I don't know the name of it, but that one was funny where Miss Puff goes nuts.
Oh, one of the most memeable episodes, probably the most memeable episode, is Band Geeks. That whenever they have to play the Bubble Bowl.
The Bubble Bowl, yes.
Squidward facing his band. That, I mean, and the thing is too, like, that show and series gives us it gives us so many more laughs beyond its intended purpose for kids. Now with the birth of memes, like, it is the perfect show between looking at the SpongeGar that we had, the SpongeGar meme, the mocking meme, Patrick asking a question, all of the various gifs that come out of it. There's a meme for every situation in that show somewhere. And it's hilarious now when I rewatch some of these episodes and I see that they're on, I will see the meme part and I burst out laughing even more because I'm just like, oh shit, look where that is. Who would have thought back in like 1999 or 2000, 2001 that this episode or like this would still be relevant because of meme culture that was born out of like Twitter.
But it shows you how well a show that is wrote with great storylines that a 6-year-old can love, a high school student can love, a stoner can love.
Well, I know a lot of
old man can love.
Always watch it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's literally one of the best shows. It is so silly and sometimes just completely idiotic. How do you have a fire underwater? I don't give a shit. It's a cartoon. It's funny. It's but still. And then when the shoplifting episode, I can't think of the name of it. Then poof, the water goes away. You ate my candy bar. Oh, I'll eat mine now.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
Where he stole the balloon that was free balloon day. Yeah, I mean, so many hilarious episodes of complete stupidity sometimes that just did one thing. Two things rather. It was entertaining, but it made you fucking laugh. You could have a good time. You could sit there with your entire family, whether you loved it, whether you hated it, but you could have a good laugh. And you can't do that anymore, at least not from what I've seen on the things that are on the TV today. I'd rather watch SpongeBob. Give me Sailor Mouth any day.
Yeah, and well, if you guys want some extra SpongeBob content, and if you're not following the SpongeBob SquarePants official Facebook page, please do so, because it is hilarious, because they have embraced the fact that SpongeBob is a meme mine, as Caitlin, Keeper of the Jeremys, has mentioned. And yeah, SpongeBob is indeed idiotic, but absolutely hilarious. Hallmark, yes, absolutely right. But definitely go check out that Facebook page and like it. So yeah, I'll shill for SpongeBob for a second. I don't care. Like that page, and if you scroll down on it, you'll see Bikini Bottom Mysteries. They have like 5 or 6 episodes out, and basically it's them calling out their own inaccuracies, or they're trying to give a profile of like the one. Okay, so that guy, the old fish that you always see. He's like, I love the young people, and the one that they're threatening to beat up and stuff like that. They do a profile on him. They do a profile on Fred the fish, the guy that always yells "my leg" after everything happens. So they go through every episode and stuff that they're in. It's absolutely hilarious the way that they do it.
You said it's the fan club,
or no? Just SpongeBob SquarePants, like the official page.
Oh, okay, the official, yeah, because they've got fan clubs and stuff. I was like, wait a minute,
it should be Bikini Bottom Mysteries.
Gotcha.
It's the videos. Yeah, if you find it and you want to drop a link, then
I was looking because now that's the sad thing. I already followed the SpongeBob Square. Yeah, the official. See, that's what's so funny. When not only do we YouTube a lot of stuff, and then Facebook, there's always different stuff. But yeah, it's always a whole lot of fun when you find people that like the same thing that you had no clue. And damn you, Jeff Hicks, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
Brought us together.
Yeah, and we about 3 months, I think it was like end of May. It was whenever the Moist was born. So,
yeah, he redid everything and started dumping everything on the new one, and I haven't really I was going to go look for the episode. All I know is I had heard, I think I met you before I heard the episode or vice versa. I honestly, man, I can't remember because we're talking about almost a year ago. But good Lord, like I told you when he was on last night, we were on his show after the party.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, to hear those guys all together carrying on through Patreon, talking about you and laughing about you. And I'm assuming that you heard that on Patreon, have you not?
Yeah, I went back and re-listened to it once.
Oh, good God, man. It just was so priceless to hear the four guys that bring us great entertainment just giggling like a group of little girls, having a good time. You know, it just, I mean, that was it. That is why The Moist has an episode. I might do a lot as a super fan, but it compares nothing to Master Moist and the birth of the Moist. And thank God we have the birth of the Moist, because man, I'd have nothing else to do but wait on Bonnie's stream tonight. So I've told you numerous times, I appreciate being on here every time you allow me to. It is an honor. I do mean it, not to cheapen the word honor, but for me, it is, you know, I bow to you, sir. And again, as always, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your stream.
Yeah, no problem. You're always welcome too. And, you know, one thing that really has been great, really just getting, you know, starting to run my own channel and, you know, getting to talk to you guys off air and on air and interacting with the chat. I feel like I'm getting to know more people, and that even though I haven't met anybody in person, I feel like if I met you in person, we'll literally just start talking about whatever we were talking about on the last stream, and it'll be like we've known each other for years. And I think that's something that's great about this community as a whole. Whenever, you know, especially one of my favorite things is the high council. And I think that's always a highlight for everybody. And I'm glad that they're continuing to do that into this year. I was kind of wondering, I'm like, how long is the high council going to last? That was one of my things that I've always kind of wondered, just because I know how, you know, with how busy everybody's getting, you know, Jeff growing world-class bullshitters, and Jeremy with Geeks and Gamers over 100K subscribers now. And he's really putting a lot of time and effort in. And same with EVS. I mean, him cranking out Cyberfrog and Rainbow Brute and all that. So it was something that I've always wondered, like, you know, hey, is it gonna start decreasing in frequency? Maybe like every other week, or, you know,
the worst case would be once a month. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. And there were times, you know, there was a stretch that we had either EVS or Geeks and Gamers missing. Jeff, I don't think he's ever missed one.
He was sick. Yeah, he did. But I mean, luckily, we had Doomcock that was in.
Yep.
So yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it did happen, but those guys it doesn't matter if it's one, you know, because it started with just EVS and Jeff. And then, you know, when we got Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers got in there, that was great. And then they just balance each other so well. And once again, you know, EVS and I are close in age. And then you've got Jeremy, who's, you know, not as young as Jeff. He's right in the middle. And then you got Jeff that's the youngin'. But for the love of God, those guys and the creativity, the intelligence, man, I put them up against any show anybody else can think of on the damn TV. I'd much rather give these guys my money for entertainment.
Well, and two, it's also, you can tell, I mean, EVS especially, I mean, he's very well known in the comic book industry. You know, he's really just, you know, he started, you know, back when they first really got the high council rolling with Jeff and Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy. You know, really, they were still moderate sized channels, nothing huge. I remember back whenever they got like 30,000 subscribers, and like they'd put up tweets about, oh, I'm at 31 or something like that. And now it's like, now they're all, you know, everyone's going to be pushing 100. You know, EVS and World Class will be hitting 100 this year. You know, and Geeks and Gamers has already hit that with the massive growth of that channel.
Well, he's been doing it longer too. That's the thing. Jeff's only been doing it just over a year. Mm-hmm. Jeremy's been doing it now. Granted, okay, I mean, because I do enjoy Geeks and Gamers, don't get me wrong. I know he took over the channel, but, you know, pre that he was still doing it, you know, and had his hands in it a little bit. Mm-hmm. So no disrespect meant, but yeah, you know, he's still been doing it longer, I do believe, than either EVS and or I know Jeff for sure. EVS, I'm not sure. Like I said, I only found the two of them because of Mr. Hicks and, you know, Frank from the Shawhan Wiener Dog clan deciding to put Jeff on, and then the third video I saw was High Council with Doomcock. So then me being me, I had to find all of them, which was about a bitch when you didn't realize that they started flipping it between each other's channels. And I'm like, these guys are dickheads. Why don't they just put it on a High Council channel? Well, they did build one, but they never put anything on it.
Yeah.
But once you learn to, and I was still newer to using YouTube, like I said before, once you figured out, okay, this week it's here, this week it's there, because I like to hear shit in order, man. I didn't need to hear the 5th episode, then the 9th episode, then the 5th, the 11th or 12th. So I wanted to hear everything in order. When I first started watching Jeff, I went back to the beginning to where, okay, I joined Patreon, and Patreon started at a certain point. So I went back and watched Good Morning Pop Culture from episode 1 of Patreon and went all the way to current in August when I met him.
Damn, that is impressive.
So I remember.
Yeah, I remember Jeff had mentioned. He would mention that too.
Yep, I have not seen all of them. I haven't gone from episode 1 all the way to current. I still have a lot of the olders. I'm only like in the 20s, mid 20s, like 28, 29. But I had seen your episode, so I'm like 50 and up. I'm current. I just have like the 30 episodes from the beginning I hadn't quite got through. But I mean, I'm talking to all of them. I'm not, it's just. And YouTube changed. Used to be you'd play a video, then it'd play the next video. Now it's playing some shit I ain't never heard of or don't care. I'm like, no, I just want to hear the next episode, you asshole. Screw you, YouTube. But yeah, that's the only dislike I have when you're watching it on a smart TV also. But yeah, that's how I did it, because I wanted to hear everything, and I sure as shit did. And I've had a blast. Then I learned to go back and start leaving comments. I left little hearts or fingers up and all that stuff. Thumbs up. I did that, but then I learned when I was no longer on a TV that you can leave comments. And I was like, man, I got to go back and make sure I write down, at least a comment so I know whether or not I watch this damn thing. Yeah. Nothing worse than going, I swear to God, I've already heard this 3-hour long fucking oh, yep, shit, I guess I did. Oops.
Yeah, no, that I kind of went back and watched some of the stuff too from all the channels as soon as I really just found it. And like the reason I found all the guys like a year ago, it's probably about this time a year ago. I was really, not to like talk too much about The Last Jedi, but it was like, and I think everyone felt this, that I was like, well, I don't want to, for me, I was like, I don't want to believe this movie sucked as bad as I think it did, because I was in the the kind of the aura that there is no Star Wars that could be bad. And then I'm just like, oh, damn, this thing was bad. And like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I was just like, well, I wonder if I'm like the only one feeling this. Because you saw all of the, all the art show media articles and like all, saying, oh, this is just a masterpiece in storytelling. So I'm like, okay, well, this is a bit odd. And then I found, World Class and Geeks and Gamers. And then I had the honor of, I did hear EVS's original Last Jedi review, which got taken down off of YouTube after like a week. It was awesome. And everything that he said in there, I'm like, yeah, this is the fan base that I need to be a part of. It's like they're speaking to my soul at this point. And it's like, we had just gone through a traumatic event and we all need to like work this out together. But, but doing that, it's spawn channels like this and, where we can all talk about different entertainment, not just Star Wars. We can talk about gaming. We can talk about, Game of Thrones as Black Angus and I and yourself, we've all done. So, it's awesome that we can have this platform, this media to do this and have this kind of a community. And I do
so much fun. Look, we get people that come in. We get people. Actually, pretty much, we've been lucky. People. It's about the same people all the time, or we get a couple new ones, but they pretty much stay through us in our crazy ramblings. But to me, it's just like it is with World Class. It is part of a community. You're right. And we all love the same stuff, and we have a chance to sit there and talk, and people want to listen to us talk, which is great. Whether you got 2 subs to 100 subs to thousands of subs, it's the same thing. We're all passionate about this stuff, and it's just great. It really truly is. This is the upside to social media and the internet versus the negative downside that you hear about all the time.
Yes, and Laura, it's a short story. Yes, that is Adam Shawhan that is talking right now. And welcome to the chat. And I saw Cinna Dave. I hope that I'm saying your name correctly. And if not, please give me the pronunciation in the chat if you're able to, because I would love to say it correctly so I can give everybody their proper due and to thank them for joining. But we'll be closing out here shortly. As I said, this is going to be a shorter live stream. But don't worry, you guys will have Bonnie's live stream later on tonight. Do you know what time that is, Adam or Bonnie?
It should be 10:30 Eastern, just like always. Pretty much every well, as of right now, 7 days a week, she's pretty much going live at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time and in the PM, of course. Love to have you there, but we completely understand, you know, with that thing called work in the AM, that makes it kind of rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pretty much am trying to be on there as much as possible with her to help her do her, you know, thing. I just call it, you know, Bonnie's happy hour. That's my personal take on it. But, you know, she lets a lot of people get together, do the same thing you and I are doing, opens it up in the evening. Sometimes it's age restricted just because you never quite know where the conversations are going to go. But it is a lot of fun. I did put the link in here and I will do it again just because that's kind of what I do. I try to help promote everybody's channel, you know, whether I'm on the show or just in the chat, because that's how people find out, you know, that the Moist has a channel, that Frank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog have a channel. I kind of have a channel. I really don't really put a lot on there. The only thing that's on there was the bits that Rookie Critic missed when I did his skit, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's an honor to be with all you great young men, you know, watching these soilless snowflakes that shed tears that make you even stronger. But all you men and gentlemen and ladies like Mecca, it's just great to see you guys. It's a relief to see that not the entire world is full of snowflake little, you know, well, bitches. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's nice to see that there is still hope for us.
Yeah, and you know, and I think as long as we keep the conversation rolling within these channels, you know, there always will be hope. And you know, you have independent creators like Jeff writing the Stealing Solo comic, EVS. I'm sure Geeks and Gamers. I could see Jeremy coming up with something.
Oh yeah.
Aside from his Geeks and Gamers empire that he is building, I'd love to see him like write a book or something, because I think he's a great creative mind. Just from listening to his videos, but yeah. So with that, guys, I think I'm going to close this one out here pretty directly. So once again, everybody, make sure you thank the superfan Adam Shawhan. He is an integral part to this community. As he had just said, you know, he's really a true intermediary, bringing people together. And without having people like Adam in this community, it wouldn't be as strong as it is. So I think, you know, we're all appreciative for that. And I would also like to thank everybody that has subscribed recently to my channel. As I said, and, you know, when I rebranded the channel to Moist Visions Inc., or MVI for short, you know, I was like, okay, let's take this thing, you know, let's make a big channel out of this, and let's have some fun doing it. And thus far, it has been a blast. I've gained, you know, pretty much 60 subscribers already in my first month of doing this. So the support has just been beyond incredible. And everybody in the chat, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and continue to keep giving me these comments. And if you have any constructive criticism, I'm definitely open to that as well. So please feel free to share, like, subscribe. Make sure to check out everybody's entertainment that they're putting out there. And make sure you guys have a very, very moist start of your week. If you are on the East Coast or Midwest and you got hit by that snowstorm, I know for certain you have had a very moist weekend. So let's take that into the week, and hope you all have a great, very, very good moist week. And with that, I am your host, The Moist, on Moist Visions Incorporated, saying get moist and get voiced. Have a great evening, people.
Goodbye, everyone.